Virtually all religions either worship aliens or believe in aliens and don't even know it. The problem with people that are into religion is they think they're spiritual because they haven't understood that religion and spirituality are two totally different things. Religion and politics is a deadly combination because it's all about complete ultimate manipulation. There's a black pope. I don't mean a black man. It's a pope that wears a black outfit. The black pope controls everything from behind the scenes. All over the world, religion has used forced conversion tactics to bring different religions to different regions of the planet. You can have a direct connection with your creator. You can have a direct connection with the universe. You can have the power of the creator inside of your body, and you can actually access it and utilize it to create the reality that you want for yourself and others. I have been talking about different religions from various times and breaking them down and basically, showing you where they have a lot of holes in their theories and how their dogma literally affects human beings from the time you're born all the way until the time you die. Now, we don't have a lot of people don't have the capability of discerning what is real within that religious text and what is actually fake. And I've gone through over 1,000 scriptures, cylinder scrolls, papyruses, cuneiform tablets. I've gone to indigenous countries. I've gone and walked amongst the people. I've talked to the sages and the elders. I've touched hieroglyphs. I've been everywhere. And what I found is that when religion grabs a hold of someone, it literally takes them almost forever and sometimes never to be able to understand there's a much bigger picture and that they've been trapped into a system that's kind of put them into a box. And I really want people to be able to understand that in order for human beings to get to the next level, we have to break out of this box. I believe in a creator, and I've said this 1,000 times on 1,000 interviews. Why do I believe in a creator? Because the mathematics, the quantum physics already proves that there's a creator of this realm, that an entity or possibly entities outside of this universe, they're not inside here with us, created this realm. We're living in a fractal holographic matrix. It doesn't mean that we're not real, but it means that the divine spark that created this software, this program code that we're operating and we're fully immersed in is made of light. We're living inside of a light matrix. So in essence, yeah, the Bible's correct. We're living in a creation. The fractal holography is the description of the type of matrix that was created and how it was created. The Bible doesn't say what type of matrix, it just says the word. Now the word is sound, that's frequency. So we know frequency had a lot to do with collapsing this wave into existence in this third dimension. I just wanted to give you kind of a synopsis why I decided to do this. I want people to wake up and understand that we have to teach our next generation to do better when it comes to religion. Unfortunately, when you're born, you're given a name, a race, and a religion, and you spend the rest of your life defending a false identity. This is the case. This is the nature of the world today. We're given a religion as soon as we come out of the womb. We're given a religion before we even come out of the womb. People are already praying over over the mother's belly and praises and prayers and this and that. And whatever those prayers are for, whatever religion they belong to, that's now encoding into your cells through cymatic frequencies. And even though there's a lot of falsehoods in the teaching and a lot of contradictory information in the teaching and a lot of information left out in the teachings by accident on purpose, it's never really looked into in depth, and it's just continued to pass on for thousands of years. And it's one of the biggest things holding mankind back. One thing you have to understand is most religions on this planet, they're worshiping aliens. If somebody is in a religion, I don't care what religion it is, we'll talk about the names of these religions in a second. And you'd say to them, hey man, you're worshiping an alien. Like, oh, I'm not worshiping. What are you talking about worshiping an alien? Well, where's your God from? Is your God an earthling? Is it a human? No, my God ain't human. Well, was he from Earth or she from Earth or is it from Earth? No, it's an alien. The definition of alien, look it up in the Webster's dictionary. If I'm claiming to be your God and I'm not from your planet, I wasn't born out of a womb of a woman to walk around in flesh and so forth and so on, and I claim that I'm not from here. Even Jesus, who came out of a womb, says, I'm not of this world. Well, then you're an alien. We have this thing called the Force. And the force, it's imbued into every single atom and every single person's body and everything that exists throughout the entire universe. It's the divine spark, divine energy. The same divine spark that created everything that we know to be in the entire known universe is inside of your body as well. And this energetic force exists at every Planck unit in space-time all around you. We're fully immersed in it. And it gives you have access to it. You can tap into that source power. Not only is it in your body, but it's you breathing it. It's prana. You're walking in it, you're swimming in it, you're flying in it, you're driving in it. It's everywhere. You can't escape it. It's in everything. It's everywhere at all times. It's everywhere at every Planck unit in space-time. And now the ancient mystery schools would teach, thousands of years ago to adept initiates. That's how you got in. You had to be an adept initiate. You weren't just allowed to walk into a class. You had to be handpicked. You were taught how to use this energy, this source energy, this power for the power of light to bring peace and balance to the universe. Now, this is an actual ancient Kemetic teaching. The ancient Kemet people, they had people called the Jedi, D-J-E-D-I, Jedi. They were Jedi Knights. The Jedi were on the light side, but they were the Dark Brothers, according to Thoth, the ruler of the land of Kem for 14,000 years, according to the ancient pre-dynastic Egyptians. They were the Dark Brothers, and Star Wars called it the dark side. So you see George Lucas, wise man. He went to ancient texts and tablets, did his research, and created a whole multi-billion-dollar movie series out of true stories. After the Second Pyramid War, about 5,000 years or close to 5,000 years ago, a lot of these beings that were teaching these ancient mysteries and teaching mankind and building these cities all over the world, they started to leave the planet little by little. And Earth became an abandoned seed colony. Abandoned. We just left here like little children on this planet, trying to feel our way through the darkness and figure out what to do next, right? And a lot of these ancient mystery schools were still in action, from some of the wisdom that had been passed down and passed down and passed down. Eventually, some of these mystery schools realized, this information is so powerful, I can actually utilize it to manipulate people. I can actually utilize this to control people. I can actually utilize this to dominate people. And so they began to understand how to use the force for the dark side. These are the Dark Brothers. And so these people come from a line of knowledge and wisdom that started off positive and upright and amazing, and only enforced lightness and balance and truth and life throughout the universe. They took it and they remixed it, understanding how to utilize and access and tap into that source power, understanding the power of vocalization, understanding the power of programming. They began to utilize it for darkness, for their own internal greedy, selfish, power-hungry needs. And that's how the dark side separated from the light side. When it started out as light, the darkness followed. And today we are predominantly, these secret societies predominantly are all about the dark side. These are the Dark Brothers that Thoth warned us about, that are walking amongst men, basically disguised as men, but really walking like men, but unlike men, hiding in the shadows behind the scenes, pulling strings of the puppets. They're the puppeteers, and creating the reality that they want on this planet for the purposes of power and control. Virtually all religions either worship aliens or believe in aliens and don't even know it. Let's have a look at the definition of alien. I told you earlier, an entity from outer space, for example, someone that's not from here. But let's look at this. Christianity, 2.1 billion people worship Jesus. John 8:23. And he said unto them, you are from beneath and I am from above. You are of this world and I am not of this world. That means not from earth, AKA Alien. I'm talking about an entity that claims to have been, or people claim that he was of virgin birth. What's interesting is when you look into the Apocrypha text, you discover that his grandmother, Mary's mother, was also a virgin birth. Wait a minute, you didn't know about that, did you? What is all this virgin birth going on? Well, that's artificial insemination. In some way, I personally believe that Yeshua, not Jesus, because Jesus is a fake name, that means Hail Zeus, but Yeshua is an artificial insemination into the womb of Mary for the purpose of a new type of genetic experiment. And that's what I really believe, that he's probably half human, half Anunnaki, most likely what we would call a demigod, and was able to come through a womb, grow, and have retention of knowledge and wisdom from his ancestry, from his bloodline. I don't believe that Yeshua was in any way sacrificed or killed on any cross, because there are many, many texts that contradict what the mainstream canonized Bible talks about, and where it says that he was crucified on the cross and whipped to death and hung, he hung there until he died and blah, blah, blah. No. If you look at the Sinai Bible, which predates the King James Version of the Bible, there is no crucifixion at all, never happened. Matter of fact, he goes on to live a life. And in Harvard Seminary, they just discovered a few years ago the book of Jesus's wife. So he got married, most likely had children, and that would be the Merovingian bloodline that still is walking the planet till this very day, covertly behind the scenes. Islam, 1.3 billion believe that the Prophet Muhammad was meditating in a cave of Hira by himself when the angel Gabriel, who's supposedly not from Earth, descended, which means he came down from above. He wouldn't walk up to him, he came down from above and told him to recite the Iqra, the words of God, even though the Prophet Muhammad was illiterate at the time. So Muhammad had to go get another person that knew how to write. And so here's this alien coming down to this dude. He's telling him, hey, I need you to write this stuff down. This guy goes, man, I'm illiterate. I don't know how to read and write. Well, go find somebody then. So then he goes and finds somebody that can write. And then you got this alien talking to Muhammad, and then Muhammad's telling this other guy, write this down. And so it's this process of you tell me and I'll tell him. You tell me and I'll tell him. And that's how they wrote the Quran. Hinduism, 851 million Hindus hold that the cosmos is populated by numerous deities and spiritual beings, gods and goddesses or devas, who actually influence the world and who interact with humans, again, not from this earth. Aliens. They can't escape it. You can't, see, when you lay the facts down before people, there's no way to escape it. There's no way to run away from it. There's no way to hide from it. You can't deny these statements. You're dealing with aliens. They're worshiping aliens. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, it's aliens. These people are afraid of aliens, but they worship aliens. Buddhism, 375 million. Okay, they have certain branches of larger Buddhist tradition, including the Mahayana, include a variety of gods and goddesses who are also not from Earth. Buddhism is a great religion. It's got a lot of great spiritual teachings in there. For the most part, it's non-violent. But again, it's aliens. Mormons, 13.5 million. The angel Moroni, who's not from Earth, he descended from heaven. In Mormonism, an angel visited Joseph Smith on numerous occasions, beginning on September 21st, 1823. This is New Age religion stuff. According to Smith, the angel was the guardian of the golden plates, which the Latter-day Saints believe were the source material for the Book of Mormon, which was buried in a hill near Smith's home in Western New York. Again, so now you have another alien that comes down, talks to a guy, say, hey man, dig up these tablets right quick. There's some information on these that you need to start a whole movement with. And that's exactly what he did. So another group of people worshiping an alien, praising an alien, getting their information from an alien. And I do mean alien, somebody who came from another place, not from Earth. This angel, according to the Mormons, was not born on Earth, didn't come out of a woman's womb. There's no hospital record that you can go find where it was born and grew up as a person. Came from space. Alien. So for everyone who's said, I just want to be able to talk to people and tell them like, hey, the people that you're praying to are aliens. Well, let them watch this show. This is indisputable information. They can't dispute this. They can't wish this away. The only thing they can do is get angry at you and run. There's nothing that you can do to say this is not accurate. There's not one thing. The only thing they can do is fabricate additional information or get angry. That's the only two things they can do. It'll probably do both, okay? So religion, it reinforces and promotes social inequality and social conflict. It helps convince the poor to accept their lot in life, accept your current conditions. And it leads to hostility and violence motivated by religious differences. This perspective focuses on the way in which individuals interpret their religious experiences. What we're talking about here is violence motivated by religious differences. We'll talk a little bit about Islam in this video today and what they did to the Egyptians very shortly. But it promotes social conflict, difference, bullying, discrimination, inequality, harassment, exclusion, sexism, stereotypes, racism. This is what comes out of religion. Spirituality doesn't even understand those concepts. It doesn't even understand those precincts. It doesn't even understand those words. Those words can't even come out of a spiritual person's mouth. The problem with people that are into religion is they think they're spiritual because they haven't understood that religion and spirituality are two totally different things. If you're religious, you're religious. If you're spiritual, you're spiritual. Spirituality and religious, they just don't go together. You just can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You just can't. Either it's dogma or it's freedom. That's it. Those are your only two choices. You can't have your cake and eat it too. The problem with religion is it creates a division and a divide. It creates a divide and conquer that has persisted for thousands of years. This is why the aliens don't talk to us. You go to church, they don't like what you got on. This ain't good in the eyes of God, right? And all they do is gossip. All they do is talk crap about you. You go to a kingdom hall, which is the Jehovah's Witness. They ask you all kind of crazy, intimidating questions. If they find out that you kissed a girl, you can be excommunicated from the kingdom hall. If they find out that you are interested in going to college, you could be excommunicated. You don't need college. The brothers at the church will teach you everything you need to know. If you tell them that you don't need to go through the brothers because you have a direct connection with God, you'll be excommunicated. It's craziness. It creates bullying, sexism. Women just got the ability to stand up and say something in church. That just happened. Women have been oppressed at every turn you can think of when it comes to religion. They couldn't walk into the synagogue. They couldn't walk into the temple. They couldn't walk into the church. They couldn't stand up. They couldn't say anything. And we just finally got to the point now where you can actually have a female pastor, right? Women couldn't even vote for the longest. They were just considered just as like a black person almost. So, and if you were a black woman, you were a double minority. You were doubly oppressed. So it's pretty interesting, but again, religion. And, talking about how African Americans or black people got into Christianity is a whole nother podcast. And then it just became, listen, if you don't follow this, you're going to be whipped and beat. So now the next generation comes out, they're born into it, and the next generation is born into it. And the next thing you know, they take it and run with it. By third, fourth generation, hey man, this is all we know. It's an ingenious neuroscientific programming code that they were able to insert into different civilizations of people and force them to become subjugated to religious systems. Okay. It creates a lot of favoritism. I'm in the elite group of the 144,000, according to Jehovah's Witness. I'm going to go to paradise and you're not. Or Christianity. Everyone who hasn't given up Jesus, who hasn't admitted that Jesus Christ is their Lord and personal Lord and Savior, well, they're just infidels and they're going to be subjugated to a lake of fire and they're not going to make it to heaven. But I'm good because this is all, this is ridiculous. It attacks gender. Ethical values of each religion can play a major role in politics. As a member of any religious community, people should feel that people should express their political needs. The political leaders should regulate the practice of religion so that there is no discrimination and oppression. That's just my personal belief, that there should be some type of regulation. You're not going to be able to eliminate religion right now. That's just the way the world is, okay? But however, we have a situation here where because of your religion and because of how much money your religious sect has to offer, they can actually be put themselves in a situation to lobby laws and rights and things into existence that another group can't do, or get more favor here than another religious group. And so there's a certain level of discrimination based on financial power when it comes to politics and religion. Also, you know that the United States, for example, I can only talk about the United States in this case, they primarily base politics off of Christianity, although the majority of those people have never even read a Bible. It's in God we trust, God bless America, and all this kind of stuff, right? However, they don't have Christian values, the majority of these people. They just play the game. I remember when Obama was elected as a president. Obama wasn't a Christian. He didn't even put his hand on the Christian Bible to get sworn in. You don't have to put your hand on the Bible to get sworn in case you didn't know. It's not required. And so he didn't put his hand on the Bible because he doesn't believe in the Bible. So the majority of people that voted for Obama because he was black were Christians, black Christians. They came out in droves. Praise God, praise Jesus, we got a black president. Meanwhile, the same guy they praising this Yeshua to and all this other kind of foolishness and running out there to these voting box, they praising a guy who don't believe in any of their Christian values at all. None of them. Believes in none of them. Matter of fact, the religion he believes in slaughtered millions of Christians. The Coptic Christians of Egypt, which we're going to talk about. Pretty interesting, huh? You see? Religion and politics is a deadly combination because it's all about complete ultimate manipulation. And because the dogma runs so deep in people, the politicians utilize that to control you and dominate you at every single turn when they literally can care less about that Bible. They can care less about what's in that book. These people don't even know anything about spirituality, religious systems, or nothing. They just know how to utilize certain phrases and words to control you and to make you pledge allegiance to a piece of material, which they call a flag. I never pledged allegiance to no flag. Not one time did I ever say, I pledge allegiance to the flag. The first time I heard that, I was like, what are they talking about? A flag? No, I'm not, I don't do that. I remember I almost got suspended from school. It was in Norland Junior High School in Miami, Norland area in Florida, Miami. The city was called Norwood. And they called my mom and said I was inciting a riot. I'm like, look, man, I'm not pledging no allegiance to a piece of material that has, to me, zero value. Now, you want me to pledge allegiance to humanity, I'll do that. To people, I'll do that. Religion and politics, they prey on the religious people because the religious people who are sold completely into the religion and become fanatics for a religion, the easiest people to manipulate. I mean, I can ring you left, I can ring you right, I can make you do whatever I want to do. It's so easy to manipulate you because the dogma gives me control over your every thought. It gives me control over every atom in your body. I have complete domination and control over everything you do, hear, see, taste, touch, smell, feel. I know I can control everything I want you to see, what I don't want you to see. And you'll be happy as a pig in slop because you'll say, it's the Lord's will. They got you coming and going. They got you coming and going, and they sit back and they laugh. I've been around people that are in that at a high level. They just sit back. I infiltrate people. I infiltrate little groups because I got the financial means to walk indoors, where a lot of people, they'll never be able to open a door, never going to get invited to see anything. I walk indoors. I have the financial means. I have the paperwork. And I sit back and I go, this is the game. This is the pimp game. This is the ultimate pimp game. I use a different word, but I don't want to say that on this because children might be watching. So, wow, this is pretty cool. This is what they're doing here. They're sitting back, they're laughing. Forced conversion. All over the world, religion has used forced conversion tactics to bring different religions to different regions of the planet. Mostly Christianity and Islam. The problem with this is the techniques used. Forced conversion is the adoption of different religion or the adoption of irreligion under duress. You know what that means? That means by force, guys and gals. That means by force. Someone who has been forced to convert to a different religion or irreligion may continue covertly to adhere to the beliefs and practices which they originally held, while outwardly behaving as a covert. They call them crypto Jews, crypto Christians, crypto Muslims, and crypto pagans are historical examples. How did these religions get spread around the world? How did they become, on every corner of the planet I've been to, I've seen a Catholic church. I was at the floating cities in Cambodia. Now, the floating city, if you've never been there, it's an amazing place. Floating city. It looks like you're on the ocean. As far as the eye can see, it's just water, and I mean deep water. And there's houses on top of the water, floating houses, floating grocery stores, floating schools. Kids get in buckets and they splash around and play in buckets like they're outside in the front yard playing. Nobody has a car. Everything is all by these little handmade boats with these little tiny one-cylinder motors on them. And what's in the middle of this floating city? A floating Catholic church. For people who believe in Hinduism, Buddhism, there's a monastery off in the distance, floating monastery. But the biggest structure there is a floating Catholic church. Everywhere you go in Mexico, there's a lot of hills. If you go to Mexico City, you're going to see hill after hill after hill after hill. And up the top of all these hills, there's always a church. What's this hill? What's underneath the hill? Those are pyramids. Every hill that you see in Mexico City, were pyramids. That the tops were used, explosives were used to blow the top off, put a church on top. Mexicans, they think they're Latino. They think they're Spanish. They're here. I'm a Spanish. No, you're not a Spanish heritage. That's not your dialect. You speak Spanish because your ancestors beaten and forced to speak Spanish and forced to follow that religion. Your original tongue is the different tongues of the Mayans and the Aztecs. You're an indigenous Mayan or an indigenous Aztec. You're not a Spaniard. You're not Mexican. You're not even Mexican, really. That's just a name. That's a more recent new name. You guys are Mayans and Aztecs, indigenous people. They were forced into a change of tongue and a change of religious beliefs. And what dominates Mexico today? Christianity, because those people came here with swords, weapons, guns. You take the leader of a community. They do this in every continent. They take the leader of your community, the chief or the sage or the elder. Tell them to follow us. Tell them to listen to us. And if he says no, okay, tie him up. Go ahead, tie him up, tie him up. Let's begin the torture tactics. So they torture the most powerful person of their community in front of everyone if they don't agree to convert everybody. And after they torture that person to death, what do you think happens? People go, shoot, I don't want to go through that. Okay, what do we got? What do we got to learn? What do we got to do? So now they've been tortured into learning this new language, tortured into learning this new religion. And by the second and third generation, those babies come out with a forced religion on their backs. They don't know why, who, why, where, when, what. Original languages, the original lexicon and dialect, they're fading away. Very few people are holding on to that. The next thing you know, it's a Latino community. It only took about 150 years. That's it. Short period of time. That's it. Converted. Forced conversion. How did black people become Christians? The predominant religion for blacks is Christianity, in America at least. And this wasn't spread around the world by love and light. It wasn't spread around the world by love and light. These people that that are controlling the world are religious people from behind the scenes manipulating politicians, polytricksters from behind the scenes. As you can see here, world leaders, United States presidents, they always got to go visit and kiss this hand of this Pope. You ever notice that? And this Pope with the white garb on is not even the one controlling everything. There's a black Pope. I don't mean a black man. It's a Pope that wears a black outfit. The black Pope controls everything from behind the scenes. You have to contact him to get approval for every war that happens on this planet. The black Pope. That's a whole nother podcast I'm going to do because that's about, at least I need an hour and a half for that one. You know, you have religious conflicts where millions of people are always killed over these religious beliefs and in the name of God. The Taping Rebellion, the 30-year war. Look at that, 7.5 million people died in the 30-year war. In the Taiping Reunion, 20 million people died. The Mahdi Revolt, 5.5 million. The Crusades, 3 million. French Wars of Religion, 3 million. War in the Sudan, 2.6 million. The Albizian Crusade, 1 million. The Pathé Rebellion, 1 million. The Huai Rebellion, 640,000. Partition of India, 500,000. Cromwell's invasion of Ireland, 400,000. Human sacrifice, the gladiatorial games, 3.5 million. The Aztec sacrifice, 1.2 million. All over religious beliefs, guys and gals. That's a lot of death. That's a lot of killing. So when people tell me that we're living in the end times right now and this is the end of days and the Lord is coming and all this, I laugh. I laugh at them. I actually physically laugh at them. You know why? Because they obviously haven't read history. They don't know. Those are far more darker days than right now. Far more darker days. There's things going on in some countries that are pretty dark right now, but I guarantee you there's not 3 or 4 million people dying per day. Some of these numbers would need that to happen. Per day. That's not, hundreds of thousands of people aren't being slaughtered per day at this moment. There's no bubonic plague, which almost wiped out humanity. There's no black plague, which almost wiped out humanity at this moment. So, and if that's the case, we're not even close to the end of days. It actually, right now, is one of the best times to be alive. Now, for some people who may be suffering in Libya as a slave and places like that, it's unfortunate. But as a whole, if you take consideration of 8 billion people, it's actually one of the best times to be alive. There are opportunities that are here that didn't exist back then. And right now, you're looking at a situation where millions of people have been slaughtered in the name of religion. And unfortunately, because of epigenetics, all those tortures and all those killings, all those murders are inside of our bodies, because from our ancestors, they're passed down generation to generation to generation. You have people walking around with depression, anxiety, PTSD. They don't know what the hell's wrong with them. What is wrong with me? I have a great life. I'm doing good. I'm smart. Why am I like this? Doctor just gives you more medication to make you even sicker. But the true source of the pain that you're feeling is from back then. All these religious tortures that happened, all the dogma that happened to your ancestors, all the forced conversion that happened to your ancestors. It's in your body in the form of epigenetic memories. And those memories are living themselves out in your reality and making you sick today. That's what's happening. That's the power of the effect of these religious wars in the name of God. The Muslims' conquest of Egypt. After the fall of Rome, Egypt became part of the Byzantine Empire until it was conquered by the Muslim Arabs in 641 current era. Throughout the Middle Ages, from its conquest by the Islamic Empire in the year 641 until 1517, Egypt was governed as part of a series of Arab caliphates. And what happened here? Something stands out. A lot of the people are Arab, number one. And those aren't the original inhabitants of Egypt. The second thing is the majority of the people are Muslim. That's not the original religion of Egypt. And the third thing is the Egyptians, they don't even speak Egyptian. They don't even know how to speak Egyptian. They speak Arabic. They write in Arabic. They're taught Arabic in school, and they don't even know how to read hieroglyphs, the majority of them. They just started teaching that recently, I think 2 years ago, to kids, to Egyptians in school. How did this happen? How in the world could this possibly happen? Well, I'm going to tell you. These Muslims, these Arab Muslims, came to Egypt and wanted to take it over. And they went in there and they slaughtered not all, but the majority of the Christians. I'm talking about with giant swords, cutting heads off, stabbing people through the chest, killing men, killing women, killing children. And the depictions of this slaughter, this genocide, are in Coptic Cairo, where we take our tour people. We take them to these places which are now what they call Coptic churches. And in there they have the depictions of the slaughter of the Arabs, killing them, killing their women, killing children, to force convert the area into Islam and steal the land, which they did. And then they built the city of Cairo and made that their new capital. It's disguised with love and light and bless you, and we're here to help you, and we're going to donate this, and we're going to try to help this and here, and we're going to buy gifts for kids. And at its core, the people that run it at the highest levels, they're laughing at you because you fell for their trick. They're dominating the planet and making trillions of dollars doing it till this very day. Spirituality. This is the true answer to the solution for humanity. And if you look at this image right here, you'll discover that the focus light, the biggest part, the brightest part of the light in this photo is in the center of this person's chest. And that is extremely important to understand, because it's telling you one important thing. The light is in you, and it is literally in you. The light's not out here. The light's not over here. It's not up there. It's not the sun. The light is inside of your body. That's where the light's located. You are the light. Or you can also be the darkness. It's a choice. We live in a free will universe. Signs of spirituality. Experiencing connectedness with your higher self is a process. Some people want instantaneous results. You have to work, just like you have to work to become religious and follow all this dogma. You have to work to become spiritual as well. It's a lifelong process. Seeking your higher power can increase your spiritual vibration and induce positive emotions. Some of the signs are as follows. Important word there: positive, happy, okay, exuberant, full of life. Whereas on the other side, look what she wearing, look what she got on. Oh man, I'm Baptist and you Pentecostal, we better than you. Oh, you're black, I'm white. I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, God bless America. What? What? No, this is the way. Feeling peaceful with meditation and other mindful practices. Avoiding negative people and behaviors. Feeling compassionate and positive. Asking questions about life and death. Finding meaning and purpose in life. Being hopeful when things are challenging. Believing that life is sacred and should be embraced. Having a greater level of empathy and intuition. Feeling at peace while being alone. Feeling connected with your soul. Having a strong sense of self-worth. Believing that life is sacred and should be embraced. Being in the present moment. These are just some of the beginning signs of spirituality. Notice how everything I just said in this one short image in this slide are completely opposite of what we learned about the dogma of religion and the beliefs and how it controls and empowers and dominates. Totally opposite. Matter of fact, if you talk to a religious person about those attributes, a lot of them will get angry and tell you you have to have your faith in God. And you're not God, so you shouldn't be able to do this. It's happened to me many times. Spirituality does not come from religion. It comes from our soul. We must stop confusing religion and spirituality. Religion is a set of rules, regulations, and rituals created by humans, which were supposed to help people spiritually. Due to human imperfection, religion has become corrupt, political, divisive, and a tool for the power struggle. Spirituality is not theology or ideology. It is simply a way of life. It's a lifestyle. Pure and original as given by the Most High, spirituality is a network of linking us to the Most High, the universe, and each other. Do you see a difference in the feeling and the emotion that goes behind that release? Being able to understand that you can have a direct connection with your creator. You can have a direct connection with the universe. You can have the power of the creator inside of your body, and you can actually access it and utilize it to create the reality that you want for yourself and others. Versus the opposite way, where the dogma kicks in and you have to rely on an outside source. You have to beg an outside source. You have to rely on an outside source. You have to wait for this outside source to do something or not do something. You have to wait for a sign from this outside source. And if you can't tell when you saw the sign or you didn't see the sign, and now you're confused, you don't know what to do. No. Spirituality is totally separate. It's a way of life. It's a knowing, and it's really relying on yourself. Religion versus spirituality. Religion is concerned with faith in the claims of one faith, tradition, or another, an aspect of which is the acceptance of some form of heaven or nirvana. Connected with this are religious teachings or dogma, ritual prayer, and etc. We know this. Spirituality is concerned with those qualities of the human spirit, such as love and compassion, patience, tolerance, forgiveness, contentment, and a sense of responsibility for your own actions. A sense of wholeness and harmony, which bring happiness to both self and others. One of the biggest things in this slide for me is your ability to have responsibility or take responsibility for your own actions. The problem I have with religion, one of the biggest problems beside all the wars and the killing and everything else that it promotes and the poly tricksters, is the fact that a Christian, for example, or any other religious person in most religions, specifically Islam and Christianity, you can beg for forgiveness of your sins. And supposedly that's going to cleanse you again and give you another fresh start. Christians, well, I'm going to beg Jesus for forgiveness and now I'm good again. So what happens is, and if you're Catholic, you go and you sit and you talk to a guy in a box and drop a couple of dollars, and he tells you a couple things you need to do, and you're good, you're clean again, you're fresh, you're good to go. You go back home and beat your wife again and come back and see me tomorrow, drop off some more money. You know what I'm saying? Go do that. Go smack your kid upside the head a couple more times, and when you come back, we'll clean you off again. You'll be fresh all over again, because you don't have to, you're absolved of your responsibility. Don't worry about anything. Just go be an idiot out there and mistreat people, disrespect people, do whatever you want to do, because you just can just come back in here. We're gonna, won't he do it? And we're gonna drop some penance, and we're gonna, you know, you're gonna tell me your story, and we're gonna clean you off again, and you, right back out in the world. Go ahead, you're good to go. Keep doing this until you die. You're good. Just don't forget the money when you come back. You see? That absolves you of your responsibility. Spirituality, you take responsibility for your own actions. You realize that the one who is doing everything is actually you. When I really had a huge spiritual awakening, and I had been spiritual for a long time, but there's levels to this thing. I began to realize that everything that's going on in the world is because of me. Everything, good and bad. That's hard to swallow for a lot of people. Oh no, what are you talking about? I'm a good person. Well, really, silence is collusion. Let me tell you what I mean. We all are silent when there's wrongdoing. Not 100% of the time, but wrongdoing can be something as simple as the system that we're living in. We know it's an evil system, but we don't say anything. We don't do anything. We keep participating in the system. We keep giving them their tax dollars. We keep giving them their loan money back. We keep participating in their fiat currency system. We keep buying their oil that was stolen. We keep participating in all these systems that they put in place, even though we know that behind them, people are profiting and people are dying for us to get these resources. We don't stand up together. We don't come together and say, no, we're not playing the game anymore. We don't stop. We don't have enough power to stop. It's just me. If I stop, then they're gonna arrest me, and they're gonna take away everything I got. The fear has us locked. We have given them approval to do everything that they've done to us via our participation and our silence. That takes a spiritual awakening to understand and digest and take responsibility for. I take full responsibility for my participation in the society that I'm living in right now. That's spirituality. Because now that I brought awareness to that in my mind, I can become an activist. I can fight for change. I can create solutions. From the religious mindset, it's them. It's the devil. The devil did that to them. The devil is making it happen. You know, it's the devil. The devil made me do this. I got to go beg for my forgiveness and put money in that plate so I'm good again. You see the difference in the mindset? One is, oh man, I'm looking in the mirror. It's me. What can I do to work on myself and become a better person? And what can I do to be a better person to help other people or provide solutions to change the way the system is working? Versus, no, it's that one. No, it's that one. No, it's that one. No, it's the devil. It's Satan. No, it's. You see the difference? There's a big difference there, guys. A huge difference. And that's why spirituality, in my opinion, has way more power than religion. Because a person with true self-knowledge and self-knowledge of gnosis can change any reality in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye. Each cell, you've heard me say this before, guys, each cell in your body generates 0.07 volts of electricity. At 37.5 trillion cells, this is what we have in our body, that's 2.63 trillion volts in a human body. You are literally a walking nuclear explosion. The power is in you. The light literally is inside of you. We all have that in every single atom in our body. Where our body is like a gigantic power generator. And we have access to this power, and that power is powered or fueled by a divine spark, in my personal opinion. The same spark that created everything that exists in the entire universe, that same spark is inhabiting every atom, every molecule, every cell in your entire body. This is where the power for Qigong energy comes from, in Reiki healing with the hands. This is where the power for Kundalini awakening and self-knowledge and spiritual ascension, it all comes from this. The power is inside of you. When people say the light is in you, it literally means the light is literally inside of you, not outside of you. The power is inside of you. We have to take a journey to inner space. And then when we manifest inner space, when we understand and comprehend inner space, then we can bring manifestations to the outer world. It's not the other way around. It doesn't start from the outside to come in. It starts from the inside to go out. And it takes energetic communication. Speaking from the heart, okay? Operating on a positive frequency has the power to change lives. Science can prove this. Speaking from the heart can be as literal as it actually sounds. And you can see the person on the right with the torus energy field that scientists now know actually exists. Your heart generates this field around your body. It's the shape of a torus. And anybody who comes in contact with that field can sense and feel your energies. Even some of your hormones can be downloaded into their field, because hormones leave the body and ride that same field, like cortisol. So if you're stressed out and you're around somebody, you can make that person stress out just because you're stressed out, because your cortisol transfers through that field, connects to their field, and they download it into their body. I learned this at MIT, one of the world leading universities when it comes to technology and science on the planet. So it's not Billy Carson's off the dome thought. This is real science. A discussion from the heart and its energetic vibrations can affect energy. Dissonance can affect not only your life, but the energy and the vibrations of others. The organs of the body are powerful. They can emit some vibrations that contribute to how others perceive us. Your own organs can transmit information to other people and animals, and they can actually perceive that energy, and they can get a reading about you, okay? This is incredible stuff that a lot of people didn't realize. Learn how you can significantly improve the quality of your life for yourself and the nearest people near and dear to you by controlling your frequency and your energy. So what is energetic communication? Energetic communication is the belief that your emotional state can affect and create vibrations and energy in the field that you emit. That the idea that a positive attitude is critical, and the knowledge that we have of the power to shape our lives has been around much longer than Western thought. This is from the East. This concept is from the East, not from the West. West is, we're lost. we really lost it. Ancient cultures and civilizations believed in energetic communication. Some form of it is ethos and has been around for centuries. The belief of heart mantra that made its way into early Hindu teachings. Chinese medicine such as acupuncture focuses on many of the chakras or energy fields, and chakras exist in the body and are congruent with many different bodily systems. So now we're talking about understanding the chakra system. Through spirituality, you want to begin to learn the energy meridians that exist inside of your body. You want to begin to understand your body's energy field, because that is where spirituality is coming from. It's coming and tapping in from your energy field and rising up out of you and going out from the inside out, not from the outside in. It starts on the inside and then it goes out. How you're affecting your reality, how are you creating your own reality tunnel in this world, is based on what's coming from inside of you and coming out of you. The biggest trick that I would say the devil has pulled, if you believe that there's a real devil running around, is that he's convinced people, and I mean by the billions, that the Bible is leading them to truth and light in heaven. When in true reality, the Bible was orchestrated in the format that it's in by that same entity that they're running from, when they're actually worshiping the same entity that they're trying to get away from and escape, which is this evil dark brother, this entity they call Satan, the devil. The blockage of chakras of any kind can lead to adverse effects on all sorts of other systems. The heart chakra allows you to experience love, not only love for yourself, but love for other people. One thing, in my opinion, that religion does, it blocks the heart chakra because of the divisiveness, because of the divide and conquer tactics. It doesn't allow you to have unconditional love for everyone because you're taught that you're the best and we're the chosen people and we're the people of God and everybody else sucks. We're going to pray for them, but we're the good ones. That's not unconditional love. Aside from love, your heart is open. You can find all sorts of events begin to occur. Once you communicate with your heart, you will be able to fulfill your ultimate purpose. Opening your heart can give you many insights into the person you are supposed to be and who you are destined to become by opening your heart. Now, when you tell a religious person this, they'll go, oh yeah, that's me. Really? Okay. Well, why are you part of a subdivision of a religion? Why are you talking about we're here and they're not coming in here because we're better than them? Why are you talking about we're the chosen ones? That's not unconditional love. That's divisiveness. That's separation. That's divide and conquer. They have deluded themselves into thinking that this is how they operate, but they operate totally opposite of what this is talking about right here. Heart science and energetic communication. It has become increasingly clear biological systems and the properties of the magnetic fields affect more than we fully comprehend. This is all, again, coming from the inside of your body. Fluctuations in magnetic fields will influence nearly any circuit or biological system. In the language of patterns, one of the critical ways that signs and messages are encoded and communicated manifests in psychological processes. It is well known that the information stores in time intervals in the nervous system. This information often refers to psychological communication. These communications are biologically meaningful information encoded between hormonal pulses in the heart and cardiovascular systems. We're talking about a communication system that occurs from the inside of the body with your naturally occurring magnetic field and your psychological processes coming out of your mind and your heart. We're talking about having silent communication. We're talking about the ability for you to communicate with the universe from the inside of your body outwardly. And it's all based on your mind state or your state of mind. Research has found that, it's well known that information stores in time. Okay. Research has found that their coherence of mind and heart mainly influences the energy field. So how you are with your brain-heart coherence, are your brain and heart coherence, these two brains, you have three, your stomach is the third, but are these in complete alignment with each other? Okay, if they're in alignment, you're in a high frequency. You have the power and can control the energy you emit into the world once you realize this. The energy that you emit, the energy that's inside of you to come out. That's the power of spirituality. Walking in your true power and taking a frequency with you wherever you go that will raise the vibration of everyone in the room. And that's real science. That's verifiable and measurable science, because I can put an EEG on your head connected to a computer, and I can have you get into a mind state of understanding and love and happiness, and walk into and have you meditate on walking into a room, and I can read the computer screen and I can see what your brain is doing. I can see what frequency you're on through technology. And I can see that you are in a position of power, divine power, in that mind state. And then I can also do the same thing. I can have you go to a thought process of, I'm better than them, and my religion is the best, and I'm a chosen one, and so forth and so on. And I can see the frequency just drop. Low frequency. The difference is measurable. Awaken your consciousness and begin to believe in the power of positive transformations. The consequence of dissonance, when one is not in a state of equilibrium, when the mind and the heart go into opposite directions, a person can feel off balance. When you're not in alignment with brain-heart coherence, when your mind is over here and your heart's over here, I know I'm supposed to be doing this, but this guy just cut me off in traffic, so to hell with this guy. That's a misalignment. Get back in alignment. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. The first thing I do when somebody cuts me off in traffic, hey, first thing, I'm alive. I didn't crash. I didn't damage my car this time, thankfully. Now, whatever's going through this person could be sick. They could be having a stroke. They could be having a seizure. They could have just got a message that their kid has got injured in class or school or a track meet or anything. We don't even know. Their wife just got something happen. Or they could have not been paying attention. Could have been having a bad day. Whatever it is, you know what I do? I bless this person. Yeah, I bless the person. I command that they make it to their destination safely. I give the blessing over their life. I don't go, hey, Mr. Dude, can you bring that magic wand and fix this? No. Me, I am the power in me. You have to understand that. How do you wield that power? Speaking from the heart. Energetic communication. A low frequency vibration can be created by the body and the heart. Vibrations facilitate emotional information and can influence your perception of consciousness. So if you're in a low vibration, man, this dude, this son of a, you know what, and I'm gonna chase him down and I'm gonna flip him off. There's no power. Then, you know, if you're a Christian, you can do all of that, and then you can go to church the next day and say, oh, God, forgive me. And then you go back and flip somebody off the next week because you've been forgiven last week. So you're going to be forgiven again next week, next time you do it. You never take responsibility for your actions. Scientists who work in energetic communication find themselves interested in emotions. The perception of these complicated humanistic qualities determined by our vibrational output. Scientists have been researching this. Spirituality and science work together. Religion and science don't go together at all. They hate each other. But science loves spirituality. They teach it at MIT. They love it because the quantum physics and the quantum mechanics is measurable, and they can measure the mind state. They can measure the heart state. They can understand it better, and the science explains how the spirituality actually works. It proves it exists, that it's not magic, that it's something that's palpable, that's real. Energetic communication does not mean you have to have negative emotions. That would be extremely unhealthy. This practice is more about not letting negativity from your feelings or experiences affect you so profoundly that you release negative vibrations. In other words, pass the negativity into your body, analyze it, process it, because you can't act like negativity doesn't exist. That would be dumb. Then you'll be stuffing negativity and trauma in your body, and that will give you dis-ease, which turns into disease. But you must process this information, process the negativity, analyze it, feel it, and then release it. And then you move on. That's the power of spirituality. It's a fundamental part of human nature to learn from negative experiences and trauma. Energetic communication means not letting the negative invade your positive thoughts. So the negative comes in and you process it, but you don't let it affect your psyche. You don't let it destroy you up here. You don't make it dominate you and control you, because you realize that you have the power over your life. You're not your thoughts. You're the observer of your thoughts. Say that again. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And you must understand that you can become an observer and witness and orchestrate from a higher dimension of thought and control what's happening here in this realm. That's spirituality. It's about a difference in thinking before these behaviors become overly critical of the self or damaging. Speaking from the heart is all about the small conversations you are having with yourself all the time. And I vocalize to myself all the time. I speak out loud to myself. I want the cells in my body to hear my somatic frequencies coming out of my throat, because We know somatic frequencies have power over water through scientific experiments, and the human body is 70% water. So I want to create somatic frequencies that are going to affect the water in my body and put me and keep me in a specific alignment. And it's worked so phenomenally for me for so long. Do things happen to me that I can't control? Yeah. Do I get blindsided by situations? Yeah. But guess what? I stay in alignment. And because I stay in alignment, I progress. I don't digress. What your mood can do. Evaluate the conversations you are having with yourself in your head. Okay, that's important. A lot of people are having bad conversations. They're outwardly presenting themselves to be positive and upright and strong, but inside they're weak and cowering and doubting. They're pretending. You have to know and understand the power that's already inside of you and understand how to wield that power and walk in that confidence of that power. Every time you think something negative to yourself, try to replace it with something kind. Okay, I didn't do too good with this. I suck. Oh, wait a minute. Let me think about something I did that worked out well, something I was successful at. Let me focus on that for 10 seconds and actually envision it. That will change your mind state, just like that. Excuse me. Just like that, blink of an eye. You may have noticed someone close to you can sense that you're in a bad mood or unwell. That's because they're picking up your frequency from your Taurus energy field. They're sensing it. It's not just, you said something to them. They can feel it. It's palpable. They can, because they're getting your emotions transferred into their body. Often you may not even have to acknowledge that you were feeling or how you're feeling verbally. You may not even have to have a specific look on your face. They just seem to know. This happens because you are speaking from the heart, and those close to you can often pick up on your frequencies more quickly than strangers. This is because they are used to you and all of your emotions on all levels. They have a base level to compare to what they're feeling from you. And if there is a distinct difference between those close, those who are close, you'll find that they'll pick up on it. So if you're with somebody frequently and often, they're able to pick up on your consistent level of frequency as to who you are. Energetically, who are you as a person? Everyone that you know has stored this in their body without themselves even knowing about it. When they get around you and you're in a lower state of mind, a bad thought, bad energy, feeling bad about yourself or feeling angry about something or frustrated, your frequency shifts. And they are now able to feel the shift because what they normally get from you as a field of energy is not the same. And their body knows what your field is. Just like they know what your face is, the body knows what your field looks like. And when the field comes, it's different. They go, oh man, there's something wrong here. This ain't the person I know. Got to ask them a question. What's going on? You okay? That's reading into spirituality. The base level to compare to the meanings. This means that energetic communication affects how others see you and your actions. It makes a statement to the world. These types of communication can be significantly contributing or negatively contributing to parts of your life. You may have been unaware of it, but if you emit a negative energy field, you could potentially repel good things simply by being negative. But if you're always putting out negative energy into the world and you're letting your thoughts carry away and you're becoming your thoughts instead of observing your thoughts, now you could be pushing away opportunities. You could be pushing away blessings. You could be pushing away situations that will benefit you and your family and your legacy, simply because your energetic field is off. You may not have said a word, but your self-talk, the universe hears it, your body, every cell in your body hears it, and that frequency has shifted, and people get into situations where they're consistently and persistently walking around out here with a bad energy field, with a smile on their face. They're pretending. They call it tears of a clown. That's what it's called, the tears of a clown. And everywhere you go, you're pushing away opportunities, you're pushing away blessings, you're pushing away manifestation because you're not in brain-heart coherence, you're not operating from unconditional love, and you are full of self-doubt instead of self-positivity and great self-talk. So I'm going to summarize this as we wrap this up, and I want to thank everybody for coming on. But what is the difference between religion and spirituality, really? Religion keeps us from seeing ourselves as a manifestation of God, the way a wave is an extension of an ocean. Moving beyond religion leads us to the greatest freedom we can all know, the freedom to be who we are. Creative agents for justice and compassion. Religion is often about who's in and who's out, creating a new worldview steeped in us against them. Spirituality rejects this dualism and speaks of us and them. Religion is a man-made device and is often about loyalty to institutions, clergy, and rules. Spirituality is about loyalty to justice and compassion. Religion talks about God, but spirituality is about loyalty to justice. But spirituality is about loyalty to justice and compassion. Religion talks about God, but spirituality helps us to be godly or make us godly. The two need not be at odds. However, the religious folks often become radicals. We see it every day. More people have been killed over religious beliefs than any other reason in history. I study all beliefs from all cultures, and I utilize whatever does not insult my soul. There is good and valuable knowledge and truth in all ancient texts, and I also prefer spirituality because it allows me to have a personal relationship with my Creator versus religion, forcing you to go through pastors and clergy, which rely on more of a monetary system for support, making it vulnerable to greed and quest for power by the leaders. That is my summary and synopsis of today's talk. I want to thank everyone for coming on today and spending some time with me. If you can take this video and share it with other people and, let them see this, and maybe, you don't know how to talk to someone who's overly religious or fanatical about a specific religion, and you want them to hear a different point of view, just share this video with them and, let them watch it. Don't say anything, just share the video to them and let them have a look. If it starts to resonate with them, or if it intrigues them in any way, they may watch some of it or all of it. They may watch a little bit at a time, as they can handle a small amount at a time, or they may not watch it at all. But you open the door, they have to walk through the door alone, all right?
If you like this video and you want to see more amazing content, go ahead and check out the next video on our channel.